Annyeonghaseyo, this is meowmurai. Let's continue our game of 9 R.I.P. Running on Nintendo Switch 2. Then, as quickly as they'd come, the two spirits left me standing alone in the abandoned classroom. Having received so much information at once, I was still in a state of shock. I'm alive. But then, where's my body? I was probably in a hospital. The closest one would be Saigin Hospital. I decided to go there right away. As soon as I entered the hallway, I looked around for Sena, but... Huh? I searched restlessly for him before finding him towards the end of the hall. Hey, hi, Sena. Sorry to keep you waiting. Yes, I was able to learn a lot. What are you looking at?
壁に貼られてる行事とか部活動の写真だよ。僕もこの学校に通っていたから懐かしくてさ。
That's right. Santa mentioned that yesterday.
紅葉も僕もここで青春したな。自分のなりたい夢を叶えるためにいろんな苦労をしたけどすごく楽しくてさ。僕も紅葉も早いうちから進路が決まっていてね。叶えるために必死だった。
Future path. If I wanted to wake up, I had to grapple with the task that God had given me, which meant I needed to find my own path. When I saw Santa's face beaming with joy, I was tinged with a feeling of envy. What do I want my path to be? I was thinking about this again. I felt a shadow cross over my heart.
ねえ、大丈夫？
I wasn't sure how long I'd been lost in my own thoughts, but when I came to, Santa was staring at me. I'm fine.
おかしいんだけどさ、君の辛そうな表情を見ると胸が締め付けられるほど痛いんだ。
Oh?
今日君に会ってからずっと思っていたんだけど、君に言われた通り僕は忘れているのかもしれない。君のこと。
Santa. I felt my chest tighten. Was it really okay for me to wake up? If I found what I wanted my path in life to be, if I was fully ready to wake up, could I really leave him here like this?
忘れているなら思い出したい。だからそれまで待っていてくれるかな。
Of course I'll wait. As I spoke, Santa smiled kindly at me. I smiled back at him, but my heart was filled with mixed feelings.
そういえば、こっくりさんをやるって言っていたけど、まさか本当に会えたなんてことないよね。
Well, what should I tell him? I tried everything I could think of, but nothing seemed to work.
まあそうだよね。叫び声とか聞こえてこなかったし。
Screams?
ほら、成功したら10円玉が動くって言うじゃん。そんな現象起きたら僕なら大絶叫だよ。
I guess you're right. That would be pretty scary. After seeing how Sena reacted to Hibiki yesterday, I knew he was truly terrified of the supernatural. Oh, that's right. I better bring these tools back to Hibiki. Conversely, I didn't want Sena freaking out again. Maybe I'll just return them later. With that in mind, I guided us out of the building, ensuring we avoided the staircase with Hibiki's mirror. For now, I thought it best to go to the hospital. I knew that's where my body would be. At least, that's what I thought. On the way to the hospital, I became very distressed. The reason being...
君を守るってこうように約束してるから一人にさせられないよ。
Right, he can't go in there. That's what Sena had said as he tried to follow me to the hospital. I get the feeling that if we go much further, his memory will reset. If that happened, I would have to explain everything all over again. It's just a hospital. I'll be fine.
だから僕も行くって言ってるじゃない。
It's really kind of you to offer to help. Then, as we were talking... Sena stopped immediately. Here we go.
あれ僕は
Sena. I stopped walking and turned around to look at him. Sena's face winced in pain as he fell on his knees to the sidewalk. Sena, stay with me. Where does it hurt?
苦しい。
Without knowing what this meant, all I could do was bend down and try to support him. What should I do?
大丈夫。収まってきたから。
As he spoke, his breathing kept getting weaker and weaker. Take it slow. I'm right here with you.
でももう夕方だし急いで病院に行かないと受付終了しちゃうから。
I thought his memory would have reset again. Does Sena remember? No, he absolutely remembers.
よくわからないんだけど。
When he caught his breath, he stood up.
さっきの痛みは今に始まったことじゃない気がするんだ。君に抱いた既視感と同じで心臓が痛むのも初めてじゃない気がして。
His heart. Could it be that the illness Sena died from had something to do with his heart? I couldn't know for sure. Perhaps the hospital brought back some memories of his illness. If that was the case, taking him to the hospital would be very difficult. I think it would be best if I went on my own.
大丈夫だって。
The closer we get to the hospital, the more likely it is that you'll forget me again. I don't totally understand it either, but it's the truth. I want you to remember me, Sena. That's why I don't want you to go with me. Those words weren't just for Sena. That was how I felt as well. Please try to understand. I took his silence as affirmation and began making my way to the hospital alone. When I arrived at the hospital, I checked the names on the rooms one by one until finally, when I found the room with my name on it, I felt my legs stiffen. I'd expected this, but I suddenly felt anxious. When I entered the room, I found a pure, white, clean, and spacious private room. I saw someone sleeping on the bed. The patient had an IV and respirator on. A nearby monitor beeped faintly with a feeble heartbeat. There were bandages everywhere, and a pale, gaunt face peeking in through the cracks. There was no joy. I was merely speechless. I wasn't alive so much as I was being kept alive. Is that really me? My body shook and I fell down onto my knees.
おーい、ミーサー、愛しのお姉様が来たぞー。こら、いくら個室だからってあまり騒がしくしないの。
Sis? Mom? My sister stared down at me, smiling sadly as she stroked my hair. My mom looked exhausted and pulled the covers back over me.
あら、少し顔色が良くなったかしら。確かに。もうそろそろ目を覚ますかもね。
Tears welled up in my mom's eyes as she looked down at me.
あの人の時と同じ。見ているだけなんて。それは違うよ。父さんの時とは違う。ミサは絶対に目覚めるんだから。ええ、そうね。今日はもう遅いし、 短いけど顔も見れたし、そろそろ帰ろう。ミサ、また明日来るわね。
After the two of them left, all I could do was stand there stunned. I had to find a way to wake up soon. I couldn't keep worrying my family like this. Just as I was about to stand up, I felt a presence standing next to me. Looking up, I saw Koyo and... Sena?
どういうこと？あんた生きてるの？
Both Koyo and Sena looked at me with shocked expressions on their faces. I stood up and began to explain things to them. I'm a living ghost, so it seems I am still alive.
そう。よかった。本当に。
Koyo sighed with relief as he spoke, but Sena looked pale, staring aghast at the scene that was unfolding before him. What are you two doing here?
病院の前でよたよた歩いているセナがいてさ。苦しそうにしてるのに、どうしても病院に行くって聞かなくて。あんたに信じてほしいんだって。何があっても忘れないって。
Sena.
あんたのおかげでセナは前に進めてる。そんな気がするよ。
I'm glad to hear that. Turning my gaze to Sena, I saw him standing still, stunned by what he was seeing. Seeing two of me, he seemed unable to process everything. That person lying in the bed there, that's the real me. I wasn't sure how telling Sena all of this would affect him, but having come this far, I thought it best to expose him to more of what was really going on. The version of me you see standing here is my spirit. I'm a ghost. And someday, I'll return to that body. Sena seemed too stunned to speak. He kept shifting his eyes between me standing before him and the me in the bed. His eyes seemed to be wandering somewhere, fighting between dream and reality. Sena!
大丈夫。こんな痛み、なんともない。僕は生きていなきゃいけないんだから。あんたは死んでるんだよ。
Oh boy, it's gonna be a hard scene. Koyu, what are you...
セナ、今感じてる痛みは幻だ。気づけよ、お願いだから。病院に連れてくるたびに記憶なくして、でも今やっとここまで来れてる。いい加減認めてくれよ。お前はすでに亡くなってるんだって。
I couldn't be sure if it was because of Koyo's desperate pleas, but Sena's breathing slowed.
冗談言わないでよ。僕が亡くなってるなんて。笑えないよ。
When he finished speaking, he collapsed on the spot. Sena!
くそ。
Koyo picked up Sena off the floor, and just as we were about to leave the room, the door suddenly slid open. And in trudged an ashen-faced Sayaka. Sayaka! Sayaka walked up next to where my body was asleep, pursed her lips, and gazed down at me. Concerned as I am about Sayaka, Sena needs my attention right now. Huh?
私いろいろ試したんだけど、あなたを救うことができていなくて。でも次のは成功するはず。手っ取り早く霊界に行く方法。
Sayaka's eyes were empty, and I felt an unpleasant stirring in my chest. Koyo quickly dropped Sena on the floor and pulled out his phone from his pocket. Koyo, what are you...
セナがぶっ倒れようが、もう死んでるんだから悪化することはない。緊急性で言えば、こっちのが高い。
Just as before, he put the phone to his face. Suddenly, Sayaka's phone began to buzz with an incoming call. You're calling Sayaka?
そう。ほら、手。
Did he feel the same uneasiness I did? With that, I quickly took his hand.
もしもし、聞こえますか？
何？
Phone in hand, Sayaka began frantically looking around the room. Koyo turned to me, and I called out to Sayaka. Sayaka, it's me, Misa. Seriously? You're such a fan of the occult and you really can't believe this? Speaking to her in my usual tone, her eyes went wide with shock. You don't have to apologize anymore. I heard all the previous ones, Sayaka. I'm sorry too. I got so wrapped up in myself that I didn't talk to you about the future. I guess in that case, we're both in the clear. Hey, I want you to know I'm okay. And I'll be home real soon. As I spoke, my vision blurred. My face grew hot, and I felt my voice choke up. I found it hard to speak through the tears. Everything you did for me, I want you to know. I saw all of it. You tried so hard to save me. Thank you, Sayaka. It's okay. Let's think about our future together. I promise next time, we'll figure things out together. And even if we end up on different paths, we'll cheer each other on. I'll be home soon, so please wait there for me. Thank you, Koyo. I knew that he had given us as much time as he possibly could. Koyo exhaled and with a tired look on his face, and I bowed deeply with gratitude. Sayaka was still there in the hospital room, but she wore a different expression from before. Relieved, we all left the hospital. Koyo carried Senna and brought us to the park where the three of us had watched the stars the night before. Koyo laid him down roughly under the twinkling night sky. Hey, be careful with him. Koyo had an uncharacteristically irritated look on his face as he spoke. But thinking about what Koyo said, I realized how much truth there was in his words. The way he'd cried out in the hospital before. How many times had Koyo said those same words to Senna before? Senna! Seeing him try to get up, I rushed over to him and gave him a soft smile. Oh, good. It looks like he's okay. I instinctively looked around for Koyo. He was already leaving. His back was to us, and he was walking away slowly. He must feel so frustrated by all of this. I felt a sharp pang in my heart as I watched him leave. You remember?
覚えてるよ。全部。ごめんね。君の前じゃ、かっこ悪いところばっかり。
Don't say that. He smiled bashfully up at me and outstretched his hand.
握手してくれないかな。
Huh? Now? Puzzled, I held out my hand towards him, and his thin fingers wrapped around mine. As ghosts, there should have been no warmth there. But strangely, his hand felt warm to me. As I reflected on how uncanny it was, he pulled me by the hand and into his warm embrace.
ねえ、ミサちゃん。
Hmm?
思い出すのが遅くなって。ごめんね。
You really do remember me?
うん。さっき起きた時から頭がすっきりしていて、目の前に一目惚れをした人がいたから抱きしめずにはいられなかったんだ。
Oh no, not this again.
一目惚れっていうのは嘘だったけど、君に恋をしているのは本当だよ。
What?
毎日君に会うたび思いが募っていったんだ。 生きていた時を繰り返すだけの止まってしまった時間の中で君との初めましてが嫌になってね。もっと同じ時を重ねていきたいって、そう僕に思わせてくれた。そんなミサちゃんだったから僕は時計の針を未来に進めたいと願えたんだと思う。だから僕は必死に自分に抗った。病気で亡くなったことを否定する自分にね。
Oh, is he really going to cross over? It's way too early in the game, in his route to cross over.
あと紅葉のあの叫びも聞いたみたい。すごく感情に訴えてきて、あんな表情させていたんだって思ったら悔しくて、死んだことを認めずに生きていた時を夢見ていたのは僕の心が弱かったせいだ。
You don't need to blame yourself. If you can remember everything now, I think that just means you've gotten stronger.
そうだといいな。でもまだ僕は弱いみたい。眠くなってきているんだ。眠ってしまうと記憶がリセットされてまた君を忘れてしまう。それが怖くてたまらないよ。
It's okay. I'll stay with you as long as it takes for you to remember. Because I'm falling for you too, Sena. And then after a while, I know you'll say those words to me again. I love you.
ありがとう。そういう君だから僕は好きになったんだ。起きた時もし君を忘れていても何度でも恋しちゃうから。
I'm glad to hear that. I'm already looking forward to our date tomorrow.
それは楽しみすぎて忘れられないな。
Those were the last words he spoke before his body and eyelids grew heavy. He lay down gently on the grass, and I lay down beside him. Listening to him gently breathe, I looked up at the night sky and made a wish on a shooting star. Please, remember me. Chapter 6. I stared at the stars for a long time. Eventually, the morning sun began to break. Sitting on the grass of the park, I turned over to look at Sena, who had fallen asleep. Using his arm as a pillow, he had fallen fast asleep while staring at the stars. It was just as the urban legend had said, the former star staring up at the stars. Just then, his head began to move. Sena. Do you remember me? His memory seemed to reset every time he'd fall asleep. If that happened again, he'd forget everything from yesterday, including his words of love. The more I thought about it, the more my chest ached. No, it's not about me. What I truly wished was for Sena to realize he was dead.
死んだことを悔やんでいる。それが心残りなら、生き返らせない限り成仏しない。
Sena's memory was constantly resetting so he could pretend to be alive. If only he could accept his death, he'd find a way to get closer to crossing over. I wish Sena could relinquish his dreams that he had in life. It was easy for me to think that way, but for Sena, it would be nearly impossible. His small waking noises reached my ears, and Sena slowly opened his eyes. Sena? Do you remember me? I felt so much fear as I watched him blink his eyes while he looked back at me. I think he's forgotten. I felt a sudden pain in my chest. Up until now, when he said, "Nice to meet you," I was shocked, but okay. But after everything that had happened, if he said the same thing to me, we'll try to make him remember. I had made a promise to him. If he forgot, I'd tell him everything again. A small voice in my head told me that if it was just going to hurt him, why bother? No matter how much it hurt. Even if it's only for a moment, I have to make him remember. I can't give up. Santa, please remember me. You and I are...
ミサちゃんと恋人同士だよね。
As he spoke, he touched my cheek with his hand.
恋人っていうのはまだ早かったかな。君はまだ僕を好きじゃなくて気になっている程度だったもんね。
Well...
笑顔もいいけど照れている顔も可愛い。
I wasn't sure my heart could handle this roller coaster of emotions.
思い出させてくれようとしてありがとうね。辛い顔をさせてごめん。この先何度眠って目が覚めても僕は君を忘れたりしないから。
I'm just so relieved you remember me.
心配させちゃったよね。でもちゃんと覚えてるよ。君が優しくて可愛らしいとても素敵な女の子ってことも。本当は生きていてじきに帰っちゃうこともね。
Yeah. That's right. Yesterday I explained everything to him at the hospital. I'm glad he remembers. His eyes looked sadly at me, and I choked on my words.
まさか夕べからずっとここにいたわけ？
I leapt up in surprise when I saw him. Koyo, we've got big news. Santa remembered me. I think that means he remembers every...
どういうこと？
君はテンパってるみたいだから僕から伝えるよ。
Just then, Senna was about to explain everything.
君はテンパってるみたいだから僕から伝えるよ。実はね。
Oh, then, just as Senna was about to explain everything,
さすがにこの時間はなくない？幽霊が出るのって夜でしょ。
それはそうなんだけど、でも昼に見た人もいるらしいし。
そんなん絶対嘘。だって星を眺める青年なんでしょ。星出てないじゃん。ほらもう行くよ。学校に遅刻しちゃう。
じゃあ放課後また来ようね。お願い、お昼おごるから。
as we heard the conversation between the passing students, we looked at each other. They were talking about Sena just now, right?
セナ、相変わらず人気あんな。
嬉しいな。死んでも会いに来てくれるファンがいるとか幸せ者だよね。
今、死んでもって言った。
彼女たちのおかげで説明する手間が省けたみたい。
Sena spoke lightly before trying to pick up a flower from near his feet.
うわ、手がすり抜けてる。面白いね。幽霊の体って。
As he spoke, Sena looked like he was enjoying himself. I got the feeling that he might be faking it to not seem emotional. Koyo, on the other hand, was left in stunned silence.
ようやくわかったんだ。本当の僕はもう死んでて、幽霊になってから今までずっと僕気づけたのは彼女のおかげでもあるし、紅葉のおかげでもあるんだ。昨日病院で僕に気づかせようと必死で訴えてくれたよね。
All right. Well, why don't we stop it there? This is meowmurai. You've been watching 9 RIP running on Nintendo Switch 2. Boy, I mean, these. I think the first 2 routes are. While they're good, I think this third route is really, really good, and so this actually feels more like an Otome than the first 2 routes. Certainly the second route with Hibiki. So, but yeah, I think I'm certainly liking this a lot more now that we're going into the different kinds of legends and just being outside the school. I think that really helped just to change the atmosphere. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing more of this. Although this is the last route that we're going to do as far as what I'll be doing through the playthrough online. But I would hope that if you saw these first 3 routes, that it would encourage you to purchase the game and witness the other 3 or the other routes for yourself. But we'll see. Let's see how this ends. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.